So from here, let's just find a comfortable seat and we'll start with that. Find your way into whatever is going to allow you to sit up tall and be comfortable. You need those two components. And then once you're sitting up tall, once you're comfortable, close your eyes. And before you even dive into the breath, before you deepen or structure or observe the breath, I want you to notice your physical body. And all the better if your breath is a little shallow or tense, or if the breath hasn't been primed just yet. Because before the breath sets in, we'll feel more of that physical tension. So notice a knee or a shoulder or a QL, lower back tension that maybe is manifesting right now. And all through your body, and kind of make a little checklist, see what you have. Once you've been able to identify any aches or pains or tensions or knots, you can sit up a little taller. Notice how decompressing the space just by your posture aligning can be really helpful. And then, even though it might have intuitively happened to a certain degree, I want you to start to deepen your breath. As you deepen your breath, you guys know just what to do. You can breathe through the nose. You can watch the tip of the nose, or you can watch the lungs expanding and contracting. Really fine-tune your awareness. Probably you can watch your muscle tone start to soften. Which doesn't mean that you're weak or that you're lacking structure. It just means we want to coax anything that might be overworking, overgripping, to dissolving its tension. Chinese medicine, pathology or disease, it comes from stagnation. It comes from things getting stuck. So those injuries, tight spots, tense areas, those are congealed places where things are stuck or blocked. Try to breathe them into circulation again. Breathe directly into the knee, or the shoulder, or the low back, or the ankle, forehead, whatever might be happening, whatever might deliver you some feedback. Soften the jaws if you need to. Notice where your tongue rests in your mouth. You can make it a little softer. See if you can even soften around the eye sockets, into the temples. The temples kind of unwinding and becoming more spacious. 5 more breaths, just kind of down regulating the nervous system, encouraging blood and lymph to circulate, chi and prana, believe in that, to circulate. Energy flows where attention goes, so I really want you to keep in mind these tighter spots as we practice and kind of watch them evolve. Last breath or two. And bring your palms together in front of your heart. Ease your shoulders down your back, let the sides of the neck get even longer, and then bow your head to your hands. Now lift your head, float open your eyes, keep any intention tension you have in your mind. And let's just start with a nice little side body stretch. So take your right fingertips out to the right. Go for a little walk towards the right side of your space. And then peel the left arm at first straight up into the air. You get a little low back, a little upper outer arm stretch. Then spin your left palm to face the right and reach the left arm up and over. And as you do that, try not to round downward, which is typical when we're kind of not paying attention. Instead, try to open the chest upward. It almost becomes more like side angle pose, or even a tiny bit of a back bend. And then grounding through your pelvis, you can inhale, lift up through center. Come up nice and slow. Left fingertips find their way outside of your left hip. Go for a little walk to the left. Right arm's going to reach straight up into the air to start. Notice what you feel and where. Maybe it's low back, maybe it's waistline, maybe it's upper outer arm. And then you'll spin your right palm to the left and reach your right arm up and overhead. And same thing, be mindful not to spin the chest downward. Try to instead open up the chest towards the ceiling. Your gaze can be up, down, or sideways. That's up to you. Shoulders down the back away from the ears. One more inhale, stay. And then exhale, press down, lift all the way back up. And let's find our way into tabletop on our hands and knees. So I should have mentioned before we got started, but if you are having any knee issues, whether it's the front of the knee, back of the knee issues in general, maybe grab a blanket today to have under your knees. So we're going to do some low lunges and some poses that'll get us into the hip flexors and hamstrings. So you may want some extra cushion, but I'll leave that up to you. Now, once you get situated with or without a cushion, remember you can point your feet or curl your toes as you'd like. And we'll just do some simple cat-cows to loosen the spine up. So inhale, crown of the head and tailbone lift up. And then exhale, do the opposite. Push them out away, hollow out the belly, round the back. And then put that on repeat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Two more of each. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And last one. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now come back to a neutral spine and really be mindful of not coming into cow pose by accident. We tend to be a little more back bendy than we think, so really firm the ribs towards the spine. And then take your right leg straight back behind you and try to square the hips. Your right toes are pointing down to the floor. But then from here, you'll bend your right knee in toward your chest, round your back a little bit like cat pose. Take your right knee pointed open to the right, think dog at a fire hydrant, and then point the knee straight back behind you, toes to the ceiling. And then repeat that, knee to your chest. Knee points right, knee points back. Again, knee to your chest, knee to the right, knee points back. Now pause, reverse it, knee to the right, to your chest, and back. Two more times, right, chest, back, and last one, right, chest, back. Now straighten out the legs, square the hip, toes point down, hop up onto your left fingertips. Reach the left arm forward if you can, or you can skip the arm. Inhale, lengthen from your fingers to your toes, and then exhale, bend the elbow, bend the knee. Try to tap them together and round your back. And then repeat, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and tap. Two more times, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and tap. And then one more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and tap. Really feel the right side glutes activated. Now from here, find a neutral place. Left palm flat, right shin flat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And then bring it back to neutral. Walk your hands forward. Curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Just get a feel for it. Obviously, we've got a second side, but in the meantime, pedal out your feet, see what the hamstrings are doing. If you happen to have some tightness or pathology around the knees, notice if it's even. And if it's not even, think about the different reasons for potentially there being an imbalance. Maybe you put more of your body weight in one foot than the other. Maybe one of your hips is tighter than the other. Hip tension can be directly responsible for knee pain, so we'll focus a little extra on the hips today. You may also notice that one set of hamstrings is a little tighter, which could lead into some gripping or tension behind the knees. So we want to strengthen the hamstrings, and if you do decide to work that exercise that I showed you guys just before we started, remember you want to lengthen the hamstrings just as much maybe even more so, to keep the tissue from getting too dense. Now from here, you can melt the knees down, come back to tabletop. I'll spin around so that you can actually see what we're doing here. And you'll take your left leg back, straight back behind you like a tail, and neutralize your spine and your pelvis. So remember, not cow pose, not cat pose, but right in between. From here, left knee to your chest. Then the left knee points open to the left. Think dog at a fire hydrant. And then the knee points back, toes towards the ceiling. And we'll repeat that 2 more times. Knee to your chest. Knee points left. Knee points back. And knee to your chest. A little round to the back for that one. Knee points left. Knee points back. Pause. Reverse. Knee to the left. To your chest. And back. Left. Chest. Back. And one more time. Left. Chest. Back. Now this time, straighten out the legs, square the hip. So toes point down. Pop up onto your right fingertips, and maybe that's plenty. Maybe you just stay there. Or right arm can reach forward like you want to shake someone's hand. You'll inhale, lengthen from fingers to toes, and then exhale, bend the elbow, bend the knee. See if they can tap together and round your back. And then repeat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and tap. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl in. And then last one, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl in. Pause. Right palm flat. Left shin down. Inhale, cow pose your spine just once. Exhale, cat pose your spine just once. And then neutral spine. Walk the hands forward. Curl the toes. Downward facing dog. Stretch it back. Once you're there, you can pedal out the feet. As per usual, a little more balance this time since we've done both sides, hip opening, both sides, a little extra core working. Spin around again so you won't be facing my back to start. Walk your hands toward your toes. Come into a forward fold of your choice when you get to the back of the mat. So once you get there, bend your knees, belly toward your thighs. You decide if you want to grab hold of opposite elbows. Maybe you like to grab your big toes or clasp hands behind your back, or maybe you like to just let the arms dangle. Lots of different options, so just check in, see what your body needs for the moment. Deepen the breath. We're here for 3. For 2. And 1. Bring it back to center. Hands to your hips. Squeeze the elbows in. Halfway lift. Pause. With a nice flat back with strength in your legs, like you're going to do a deadlift. Ground for your feet to rise all the way up. And as you come upright, I want you to give a little extra squeeze to your glutes. Your glutes are going to be important for today's practice. Neutralize your pelvis. Look down at your feet. Make sure their hips width apart. Lift your toes up so the arches of your feet lift up. Spread your toes wide and then gently bring your toes back down. Release the arms, palms face forward. Tuck the chin just enough to be able to hold a tennis ball or an apple under your chin. Take a few moments just with the breath. Find those areas you identified earlier when we were seated. The knee that's tight, or the shoulder that's tight, or the low back area that's achy. Breathe with those. See if early on maybe there's some change. Let's make our way up to the top of the mat. So blink your eyes open, take a little stroll, recreate that same shape at the top of the mat. Option to bring your big toes together, which requires a little bit more hamstring opening, so see how you feel. And then bring your palms together at your heart. I'm gonna adjust my screen a little bit so my head doesn't get cut off in every pose. It'll be a little cut off, but hopefully that's better, that's slightly better. Palms to prayer, bow your head to your hands, and take a moment, just make an offering. I'm here because I'm achy. I'm here because I need to focus. I'm here because I'm anxious and I need to diffuse that. I'm here because this is my self-care routine. Just check in. Let's do a couple of slow sun salutations to get us ready for our standing poses. Release the arms when you're ready. Open up the eyes. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, swan dive all the way forward. Bend your knees as much as you'd like, especially if the hamstrings are tight. And then 3 times we'll inhale, halfway lift, lengthen forward. Keep that length. Exhale, fold. Repeat, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold your deepest so far. Bend your knees, place your palms, step back to plank pose. Notice if the same leg always steps back first and try to alternate as best you can. Now, if you don't want vinyasas today from plank pose, you can always go child's pose or down dog. If you're feeling pretty okay with it, lean forward, lower halfway down, pause. Lower all the way to your belly, pause. Rest your forehead, point your feet, lift your shoulders up and onto your back. And then this is going to seem a little weird, but I want you to take your hands to your glutes. Find kind of the crease between your hamstrings and your sits bones, the crease between kind of the butt muscle and the thigh muscle area. There should be a sort of definitive crease there. And I want you to use your fingertips to get some sensory feedback as you tone that area. So think of toning just the lower part of your glutes. Now, once you get that going, lift your legs up off the mat. And then keep your hands in place, press your pubic bone down more, and peel your forehead, chin, and chest up. So you've literally got your hands on your butt, which I know is a little weird, but you're getting some feedback to kind of determine that the muscles are firing the right way. Keep that tone to your glutes, let the legs come back down. Let the forehead come back down. Try to keep that muscle firing in your lower buttock. And then place your palms under your shoulders, still engaging the legs, shoulders up and onto the back. Inhale, curl into just a light baby cobra. Really just training the leg muscles to work in a balanced way. Exhale, release that down, curl your toes, stretch back downward facing dog. Now that whole area gets a little stretched, so you don't have to think so hard about toning the glutes. In fact, you're loosening up the glutes and hamstrings in this one, which you can probably feel. And let's do all that again. Inhale, look forward, lift up onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees. When you feel ready, you can step, jump, or tiptoe, top of the mat. Take your time to get up there, and once you do, inhale, just one time, halfway lift. Keep the length of your half lift and fold in. And then press down through your feet. Inhale, reach the arms around and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samasthiti, palms together, right in front of your heart. Good, repeat. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward, touch the mat, or your shins or your blocks. Inhale, half lift. We'll do 3 again. Exhale, fold. Repeat, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Last one like that. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Place your palms. Step to plank. Notice which leg intuitively steps back first. Opt out if necessary. Knees down if necessary. Lean forward if you can. Bend the elbows. Come halfway down and pause. Shoulders higher than the elbows. And then find your belly. Again, rest your forehead. Point your feet. Bring your fingertips to your sits bones. So find the area right at the base of your pelvis where the hamstrings attach and the glutes kind of cover up and wrap over. Find that area, try to engage that area. So feel a little bit of muscular activity, and then lift the legs up off the mat. Just like last time, shoulders up and onto the back, try to exaggerate that. Pubic bone down, inhale, forehead, chin, and chest peel up. This time add a little neck stretch. Gaze towards the right, tuck your chin. Everything else is the same. Tailbone lengthening towards your heels, head and neck come back to center, pause. Stay hovering, turn your gaze to the left, and then tuck your chin there. And then back to center, head and neck are neutral, legs come down, arms release, palms under shoulders, curl up a little bit higher. See if you can feel your shoulder blades curling behind your heart to give you more heart opening, and then release that, downward facing dog, stretch all the way back. Once you're back in down dog, wiggle around a bit. Grip the mat, push the mat. Maybe flip the toes over, stretch the tibialis anterior area, so the front of the shin where we tend to get shin splints. Sometimes we forget about stretching the front body as much, and then it ends up locking up and affecting the back body. One more time, inhale, look forward, lift up onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, you can step, jump, or tiptoe, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep that length, exhale to fold back in. Ground through your feet, inhale, reach the arms around and up. And then circle the arms down, palms to prayer, Samasthiti. One more cycle, same thing, inhale, arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Touch down, find your mat, inhale, halfway lift, we'll do 3 more. Exhale, fold yourself in. And repeat, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, place your palms, step back, plank pose. You can divert right to down dog if you like, otherwise lean forward, lower halfway, and then all the way down. This time, without using your hands, just find that area with your muscle memory, curl forward, cobra. Maybe you have a little different gluteal experience in cobra and hamstring experience, and then release that, curl the toes, stretch back downward facing dog. Now this next bit you can always do from tabletop if you don't like those hip circles in down dog, because they can be a lot for the shoulders to stabilize and work on. So modify if necessary. Inhale, the right leg lifts up and back. Bend the knee, open up the hip. That'll give you a nice inner thigh stretch. You can stay right there, or we've got some circles, right knee to your chest. Knee points right, knee points back. And 2 more times, chest, right, back, chest, right, back. And then right knee to your chest, come forward, lift the shin bone up, step the foot between your thumbs, melt the left knee down. Another good time to place a cushion if you need one. Scoot the left knee back a little bit, point the toes, and then lift up onto your right leg front thigh. Now, if that's too much, you can just keep fingertips on the mat. If you're doing okay with balance and your back knee isn't too tender, push into the right thigh to pull your belly back to sit a little more upright. And then imagine a zipper up your front body and your tailbone reaching straight down towards the floor. So I like to think of like a dinosaur tail, a really heavy one. Now from here, right palm's gonna stay on your right thigh. You feel pretty good, left arm can reach up into the air. So we get a left side jeans pocket area type stretch. You can sit the hips a little lower if that feels okay, but make sure you don't feel any low back tension. And then you can curl up and over towards the right, if you're able. To get a little more front of the thigh, jeans pocket, side of that thigh stretch on that left leg. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. And 1. Now ease up and out of it. Left palm comes all the way down flat to the mat. Curl the left toes, lift the left knee, feel the right arm up into the air. Take the right arm up and overhead, palm facing down. Maybe look down at the floor to help your balance. 3 times we'll inhale, straighten the right leg. Straight is relative, and then exhale, bend the right knee. And then put that on repeat. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 1 more time, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Right fingertips come down to the mat. Square off your hips. Stay on the ball of your left foot. Press down, lift all the way up. And now find a crescent lunge. Reach the arms up. Maybe find a focal point to help yourself stay balanced. Tone the belly a lot for sure. And then as you inhale, straighten out the right leg. Exhale, bend the right knee, palms to prayer. Stay upright, twist to your right. And then put that on repeat. 3 more. Inhale, come center and reach. Exhale, bend and twist. Again, inhale, center, stretch up. Exhale, bend, twist. 1 more time, inhale, center and reach. So use your breath. If I'm going too fast or too slow, kind of adhere to your own rhythm. Pause when you get into the twist this time, and then lean into it and see if you can bring your left elbow outside of your right thigh. Option for the left knee to come back down to the mat if you want more stability. I like it a little better with the back knee grounded, but you'll get more muscular energy if the leg stays lifted. So lots of different options for slightly different reasons. We're here for 3. Firm the right hip in, bend the right knee a little deeper if you need to for 2. And 1. Now if the back knee lower, lift it up. Torso back to center. Left heel grounds. Now you're in warrior 1, trying to square the hips forward. Reach the arms up. And then circle the arms around behind your low back and see if you can interlace fingers there. If you can't, grab a strap or a towel or even part of your t-shirt, and then squeeze the elbows in. Reach the knuckles down. Inhale, lift your chest up. And exhale, lead with your heart bow forward. Come into humble warrior. As you find your humble warrior, you'll notice the right hip likes to kick out to the right, but we don't want that. So firm the right hip in and bend the right knee a little deeper. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. 1 more We're here for one more deep breath in. Exhale, press down, lift up, warrior one. So keep the legs, reach the arms as you get to the top. Maybe look up, press palms if you're able, and then circle the arms down, fingertips to the mat. Spin to the ball of your left foot, melt your left knee down. Again, add a cushion if you'd like, and stretch your right leg towards straight this time, half Hanuman. Good, you guys, walk your fingertips back. Inhale, chest towards your right big toe, shoulders down the back, and then exhale, fold over the right leg. You can tuck your chin and close your eyes and slow your breath. Notice if your jaws are clenching together or if your tongue is pressed up against the back of your teeth. Find a way to soften and then keep reminding yourself to soften. Three more cycles. Now keep the legs, do a little half lift. Eyes can blink open if they're closed, and you're just gonna walk a quarter turn to the right to get more into the lateral aspects of the leg. So lateral means the side of the body. We've got the lateral shin where the peroneal muscles are. They can get tight and kind of grip on the side of the knee. And then as most of us know, we've got the IT band that runs down the outer strip of the thigh. So the IT band itself isn't going to stretch. It's a dense band of tissue, but everything that's around the IT band, the more lateral hamstrings and lateral quads above and below, they're going to stretch. They are going to stretch, and that's going to help the IT band to not be quite so tight. So with that in mind, reach the chest farther towards the right, and then sink in a little deeper if you can. Hang your head, and maybe close your eyes and just notice what you feel. Maybe there's a more direct sensation somewhere if you pay closer attention. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Now look to the top of the mat. Walk yourself forward. Frame out your right foot. Curl the left toes. Lift the left knee. Walk your fingertips about 10 inches forward. And then float your way through a modified warrior 3, just for a breath or two. Get the pelvis to square, get the hips to be neutral, and then cross your left ankle behind your right ankle into a standing forward fold. And you want to soften your knees a little bit here, but you can decide how much to soften. Inhale, chest reaches forward. Exhale, keep the length. Walk your fingertips in, hang your head. You might like blocks or props for support here. Notice what you feel and where. Maybe the stretch has moved into the Achilles area, behind the heel and ankle. Maybe it's higher up towards the sits bones. Remember that a more effective stretch will be in the bulkier part of a muscle rather than an attachment site. So think of getting the stretch to move away from the joints themselves. You can do that by bending the knees a little extra or firing up the muscles a little extra. More or less same pose, but you're gonna halfway lift, lengthen through your spine, and just switch the cross of your ankles. So move your right ankle behind the left or vice versa. It's okay if you started the opposite way. Inhale, halfway lift, chest forward. Make sure there's a little bend in the knees just so nothing locks up. And then exhale, fold over your legs, tuck your chin, settle right into it. If you need props, make them available. You need to bend your knees more or separate the feet a little farther apart. Make that available. Lots of options. Last 2. Lean it a little farther forward for your last 1. Big inhale. Exhale, uncross the ankles, halfway lift, hands to your hips. Squeeze the elbows in, flat back, chest forward, press down, rise all the way up. So it's kind of like you're doing a deadlift. And as you get to the top of your pose, neutralize your pelvis, give a little tone to the glutes, spin the palms to face forward, close the eyes, and notice right side and left side and how they feel different. It's possible there's a tiredness, it's possible there's a heaviness, it's possible there's a length or a lightness to one side or the other. The simple act of refreshing your awareness is going to help you to make progress and to also observe that progress so you feel motivated to continue along that line of progress. Now, We'll do a sun A to get us back to down dog. Remember, you can skip the vinyasa part if you'd like. Blink your eyes open. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive all the way forward. Touch down. Find your mat or your shins or your blocks. 3 times. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep that length. Exhale, full. And then repeat again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Same thing. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, place your palms, step back, plank pose to inhale. Maybe your exhale is a down dog, or maybe your exhale is a child's pose. Maybe it's a vinyasa. But when you get to your belly, I want you to really tone by the sits bones to inhale, curl into your back bend. You could be hovering in up dog if you like. I think cobra is a healthier pose personally. But then you'll exhale, downward facing dog, stretch it all the way back. Take your time, and again, now you're in a neutral place, so close your eyes and see if you can envision the right side and left side of your body. Notice how they're separate, notice how they're together, notice how they're different, and also notice where there's balance. You can be bending one knee at a time and straightening the opposite leg as you observe there. And let's get right into the left side with those poses. So pick your left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Keep the chest and shoulders square, keep the pelvis high, and just make those 3 hip circles. Left knee to your chest. Knee points left, knee points back, and chest, left, back, chest, left, back. Then left knee to your nose, come forward like plank, lift the shin bone up, step the foot between your thumbs, melt the right knee down, and scoot the right knee back a little bit. Point the toes, take some pressure off the right knee by making your stance really long and add a cushion if you like. And then lift up onto your left thigh. If that's too much, just keep fingertips on the ground. Same options from there on out. Otherwise, if you're feeling good, push into the thigh to pull your belly back. Think of really neutralizing this space. We don't want to end up in low back pressure. So we're trying to think tailbone towards the floor, pubic bone up towards the throat. From there, push into the thigh a little more. Maybe let yourself sink in a bit. And you can take your right arm straight up into the air. Left hand will stay on the left thigh. That's a good stretch for most of us. Feel free to stay right there. Or you can curl up and over towards the left, which will give you more of this jeans pocket, TFL, IT band area stretch. Remember though, like I just mentioned, the IT band itself won't stretch, but what's around it will stop gripping on it quite so much. We're here for 2. And last one, deep breath in. Exhale, come on back to center. Right palm comes all the way down. Curl the right toes, lift the right knee, peel the left arm up into the air. Start with a simpler twist, then take the left arm up and overhead, palm facing down. Maybe look down, and 3 times we're going to inhale, straighten out the left leg. Straight as relative. Exhale, bend the knee. And then repeat. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Left fingertips to the mat. Pop up onto your right fingertips. Stay on the ball of your right foot. Adjust your stance if you need to. And then root down to rise all the way up. Crescent lunge. Taking a moment just to let everything get neutral and then to reach the arms up into the air. Tone your belly a lot. Find a focal point if that helps you with balance. Inhale, straighten out the left leg when ready. Exhale, bend the left knee, palms to prayer. Stay upright, twist to the left. And then 3 more of these, toning the belly all the way through. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, bend and twist. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, bend, twist. And then last one, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend, twist. This time pause, and if you like, you can lean into it. Right elbow outside the left thigh. If that's too much, you can stay upright. And if you like, you can set the right knee down to give yourself a little less balance to work with, but that's up to you. As per any pose, looking down makes it a little bit easier to balance. Looking up makes it substantially harder. So don't limit yourself, but decide when you'd like to push those edges, push those boundaries. You got 2 more breaths here. Last one, deep breath in. Exhale, lift the right knee if it's lower. Torso comes back upright. Pop the right heel down to the mat. Find a warrior one. So pelvis squares forward. Any little kind of feedback options that you like to help you square the hips are fine with me. Eventually inhale, reach the arms up if they're not. And then exhale to interlace fingers behind your low back, or remember you can modify it. So grabbing something between your hands will give you a little more space for that one if it's difficult. Inhale, lift your chest up, reach your knuckles down. And then exhale, dive your torso forward. Don't worry about how low you go, but try not to let your left hip kick open to the left. And it'll try to, so you'll have to really resist that and firm it in. The heavier you can make your head, the better. And the more space you can make from shoulders to earlobes, the more you can just kind of traction your neck to lengthen. And it doesn't seem related, but the hamstrings and the glutes are actually really intimately connected with the openness and availability of our neck and shoulder muscles. In fact, in acupuncture, if I'm going to relieve your low back pain, I'm also going to work on your neck because I know if I clear one without the other, the tension's going to stay. Take one more inhale, stay right there. Exhale, press down, lift all the way up, find warrior one. Little pause at the top, and then circle the arms down, fingertips to the mat. Spin to the ball of your right foot, melt your right knee down, and stretch your left leg towards straight. You might have to wiggle the heel forward a bit. You may need to adjust, so just kind of make it work for you. Inhale, chest towards your left big toe. Exhale, fold over your left leg and soften into it. Close your eyes, deepen your breath, soften your jaws. A little bit of effort to keep you structured and to set the bones in place. Then ultimately the pose becomes pretty effortless. And you can expend that energy on just watching the stretch happen. There is still muscular activity in the quadriceps, the top of the left thigh muscles, but that should become, as you practice more and more, something that you can kind of set and just leave turned on, rather than gripping or actively continuing to activate. Now keep the pose but half lift, your eyes can open up, walk a quarter turn to your left this time, to get, again, more of the lateral aspects of the leg. So IT band won't stretch on its own, but what's around it will stretch. Peroneal muscles, outer shin muscles, we tend not to stretch them, we just don't think about them so much. And they stabilize us a lot, especially if we're hiking or running or even walking on a surface that's less stable. We're here for two more. Last one. Exhale, look forward, walk forward. Bend your left knee, curl your right toes, lift your right knee, walk your fingertips about 10 inches forward or grab some blocks. And then just float your way into a modified warrior three. We're really only here to transition, but take a moment to just feel what it's like for the hips to square. And then take your right ankle and cross it behind your left ankle. So you're back in that cross-ankled forward fold. Now this time, pop up onto your fingertips, halfway lift. If fingertips don't really do the trick, then have some props underneath you so it's not difficult to be here. Because you're going to keep the legs the same and walk your torso a quarter turn to the right again and tuck your chin. Notice if the pelvis kind of turns with you, which would defeat the purpose of being here at an angle. So firm the outer left hip back more. Maybe tuck the chin more as well. Keep the legs as they are, but walk the torso back to center, pause. Then you'll walk a quarter turn to the left. Firm the outer right hip back. Soften the shoulders, hang the head, get nice and heavy. Come on back to center. Just like last time, we're going to switch the cross of the ankles. So you can take the behind ankle and just switch it up, around, and forward, or vice versa. And then inhale, halfway lift. Keep that length, and again, walk a quarter turn to the right without changing your legs, and then tuck your chin. Make sure that the back knee, which probably is the left knee, but it's okay if it's the opposite. Make sure the back knee is at least a tiny bit bent.
because it's really easy to lock out the knee and put too much pressure behind it. And the purpose of our practice is to alleviate pressure behind the knee, pressure anywhere around those major joints that we need to keep healthy for as long as we can. Now, same legs, walk your torso back to center, take a little pause, and then walk a quarter turn to the left. And again, be mindful of the pelvis not coming with you. So it'll want to kind of turn into more of a twist, but you've got to firm things up towards the center line and back towards the back of the mat so that you don't lose your structure. One more inhale. And then walk it back to center as you exhale. Uncross the ankles, hands to your hips, squeeze the elbows in, halfway lift. And then like you're doing a deadlift with a flat back, rise all the way up. And at the top of your pretend deadlift, give a little squeeze to that lower part of the glutes. Spin the palms forward, close the eyes, observe Tadasana. Let's do one more sun A. Inhale, reach the arms up, eyes can open up. Exhale, dive all the way forward, touch the mat. Inhale, look forward just once. Exhale, vinyasa of your choice. You can step back, jump back, or skip the whole thing and go right to down dog. I'm going to opt right into down dog myself. Once you eventually get back there, whether it's through a vinyasa or after a child's pose, just wiggle around a bit, compare right side, left side. We are going to do one more standing sequence. I want you to kind of refuel your gas tank a bit before we go there. Close your eyes, deepen your breath, see how things are going. We'll actually start the sequence from the top of the mat. So as you feel ready for it, your eyes can open up. Tip your gaze forward, lift up onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, silently step, jump, or tiptoe all the way up, top of the mat. Once you're up there, walk your big toes to touch, and then bend your knees, sink your hips, tap your fingers in line with your heels, and reach the arms up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Another really good thing you can do for knee pain is you can do wall sits, where you literally squat yourself up next to a wall, and you would lift your torso so that your whole back is flush to the wall. We'll talk about that another day. Palms to prayer, stand on your right foot, pull your left knee in toward your chest, and then take a big step out to your left, and I want you to find right side warrior two. Be very mindful of the rights and lefts as we get going. I apologize for my back, but you'll see it from the back and then you'll see it from the front. Open the arms wide, palms face the floor. Keep the legs the same, lean forward. Flip the right palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle pose, halfway forward, top arm up and over. Inhale, warrior two, press down, lift up. And then exhale, goddess pose. Take a quarter turn to your left, turn your knees and toes out in opposite directions, pointing away from one another. Knees and toes agree with one another. Reach the arms up into the air and hold, 3. Put the hips lower if you can for 2. And 1, arms go wide, left side warrior 2. So pivot to the back of the mat. Left knee bends to a square, right toes angle with you just a little bit. So make sure the toes aren't turned out. And then from here, lean forward, flip the left palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. Quads are working hard. Exhale, side angle pose, halfway forward, top arm up and over. Listen carefully. Inhale, warrior 2, press down, lift up. Exhale, chair pose to the back of the mat. See if you can make it one clean step. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, interlace fingers behind your back and fold yourself forward. If you don't like that arm variation, choose one that you like better, because this is your opportunity to get a couple of breaths of rest. Last one already. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, sweep the arms through center, chair pose. Pause, sit low, palms together at your heart. Stand strong on your left foot. Right knee hovers at your chest. Big step out to the right. Stay with your left foot facing forward, left side warrior 2. It's okay to wobble. It's okay if it wasn't a perfect transition. Stay there in the legs, lean forward. Flip the left palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Should be a little more familiar at this point. Inhale, warrior 2. And then exhale, quarter turn to your right, find goddess pose. So knees and toes track out, arms reach up, tailbone reaches down. This one's tricky, it's pretty uncomfortable, just do your best. Right side warrior 2, pivot back to the front of the mat. Make sure your left toes came with you. Right knee bent to a square, lean forward. Flip the right palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, warrior two, press down, lift up. Exhale, chair pose, top of the mat. And then from here, bend your knees, sink your hips, keep bending, keep sinking, keep bending, keep sinking, keep bending, keep sinking. Get your butt to the floor. You might have to use your hands, which is fine. And then slowly roll down the length of your spine onto your back. Now, once you get there, right knee to your chest, dorsiflex, toes towards the shin, right ankle over the left thigh. So a little bit of an intermission, and then we will go through that sequence one more time to get the left leg a little more heat. Now, once you've got your figure four set up, you know the drill. You can keep the left foot planted if you like. You can pull the left thigh in if you would like. You can clasp hands behind the left thigh if you would like. But I do want the shoulders to stay grounded and the back of the head to get nice and heavy. And then let this be an opportunity to rework your breath. Rework your breath, maybe add some little side-to-side movements or front-to-back movements. Four more cycles of breath. Try to really progress the breath into a deeper, slower place. That follows through any effort that we still have to exert. The breath is that much more supportive when we're working harder. Last one here, inhale. Exhale, happy baby. Release what you've got, split the thighs, grab the heels, outer feet, big toes, ankles. Rock a little side to side, smooth it all out. The part of your glutes that potentially could be touching the ground right now, that's what we don't want to activate in the majority of our poses, really any of our poses. We want to try to soften and relax that space. Whereas the lower glutes, at the sits bone area, that's what we're looking to tone. Another thing that'll help take pressure out of the knees and put stability where we need it. Now you can come back to center. Two options as per usual. You can roll to one side, press up, and then stretch it back, down dog or vinyasa. Harder option, you can rock and roll yourself forward and back. Gain some momentum until eventually, maybe you shoot it back, take a vinyasa. Maybe you're over that, that's too much energy, too much work, you just find a forward fold. We'll meet you there eventually. Maybe you step back, down dog, get a stretch. Like neutralize everything. Pedal out the feet. If you're at the top of the mat and you're comfortably just hanging out there, you can stay there. We'll be there in a breath or two. If you're in down dog or something similar, start to think about moving to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forward. Lift up onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, step, jump, or tiptoe. Top of the mat. Take your time. Big toes close to touching or touching. Inhale, half lift. Keep that length. Exhale, fold. Chair pose for a breath. Bend your knees, sink your hips, tap your fingers back. Reach the arms up. Palms to prayer in front of your heart. Stand on your left foot. Pull your right knee into your chest. And then big step out to the right. Left side, warrior two. So left foot, left knee, still facing forward. Arms go nice and wide. This round I get to face you guys. Sit the hips a little bit lower if you can. Lean forward. Flip the left palm. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Strengthen your legs, but also a tone to your belly. Exhale, side angle pose, halfway forward. Top arm up and over. Inhale, warrior two, press down, lift up. And then exhale, quarter turn to your right. Find goddess pose. And as you do, you'll notice the ribs like to kind of spill forward. It becomes more of a back bend. Try to consolidate that from your ribs toward your spine. This time, see if you can kick up your right heel. And then set your right heel down and see if you can kick up your left heel. Good, and then set your left heel down, arms go wide, look to the right, right side warrior two, towards the back of the mat. Pause when you get there, lean forward, flip the right palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. And then exhale, side angle pose, halfway forward. Inhale, warrior two, press down, lift up. Exhale, chair pose at the back of the mat. So take your time. Maybe it's one step, maybe it's a few. Clasp your hands behind your back or choose a different variation to fold forward over your legs. As you fold forward, rock the head a little side to side. Make sure there's no tension creeping into your neck by accident. Maybe take an opportunity to close the eyes and hone in on a little bit deeper of a breath. Last inhale here. Exhale, come on back to center. Bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep the arms through. Chair pose, pause. Palms to prayer, right foot grounds, left knee to your chest. Big step out to the left, but keep it right side warrior two, so you're facing the back of the mat as you build your pose. Sit the hips low, lean forward, flip the right palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. If you're getting tired, don't worry, we're almost done. Exhale, side angle pose, halfway forward. Thigh muscles should feel like they're overworking, so they're ready to stretch, ready to relax. Inhale, warrior two. And then quarter turn to your left. Last time, goddess pose, knees and toes track out. Now again, ribs towards the spine, that's important. And 3 times, you can take it or leave it. You're gonna lift both heels and lower them. And then again, lift both heels and lower them. And then last one, lift both heels and lower them, and then arms go wide, left side warrior two. Last little bit. Always make sure in your warrior two, the back leg is turned inward towards the rest of your body rather than the toes pointing away from you. From here, lean forward, flip the left palm, inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two, press down, lift up. And then exhale, chair pose, top of the mat, step it all the way up. Pause when you get there, deep breath in. And then exhale, start to sink lower, and lower, and lower, and lower, and lower. You might have to use your hands to help you get your butt to the floor and roll down the length of your spine. Try to control it, do your best with it. Step your feet in, left knee to your chest, dorsiflex, left ankle, right thigh. And then once you get there, you've got options. The right foot can stay flat, you can keep it simple. The right thigh can pull in, you can go a little deeper, or you can clasp hands behind the right thigh and go deeper still. Shoulders down and back so the chest opens up. And gently just start to work your way side to side. Massage out any tension that crept into the low back or the mid back. Soften your jaws, smooth out your face. And breathe. Couple more breaths here. I would like to play with different angles and see what sort of stretch I can find. Last one, deep breath in. And then exhale, you can release that and go for happy baby. So split the thighs, reach down and grab the heels, the outer feet, the big toes, whatever you like. And then try to encourage the knees to move towards the shoulders and the armpits. And in fact, we'll take this one a little deeper. So come back to center if you're moving side to side. Bring your right hand outside of your right foot. Bring your left hand inside of your right foot. Don't worry about how low to the ground your right knee is, but try to step your left foot flat. And then use the leverage of your left foot stepping flat to gently reach the thigh bones apart. Probably most of us won't get the right thigh bone all the way to the floor, but think of the direction of the thigh bone being towards the right side of your space, just outside of your right rib cage and towards the floor. And just breathe into whatever stretch comes up. Take another inhale, stay there. Exhale, back to happy baby. So left leg pulls in. You can split your hands. So you've got a right hand on a right foot, left hand on a left foot. Rock a little side to side. Maybe the right leg feels different than the left. And we'll reverse it. So take your right hand to your inner left foot, left hand outside the left foot. See if you can step your right foot flat. Again, again, it doesn't matter if your left thigh bone is going all the way to the ground or not even close to the ground, but think about going wider to the left because your thigh can't go through your rib cage. So you'll deepen the stretch if you kind of bypass the rib cage. And then use your right heel pressing down to get the right side glutes and hamstrings a little bit activated. Not here long, 2 more breaths. Last one. Now release that. Step both feet flat. Step your feet hips width apart. So imagine Tadasana, mountain pose. I want you to take your hands and actually grip the sides of your sticky mat. So really lock into this one. Shoulders on the back. Step into your feet, gazes towards the ceiling. So you're just listening from here on out. And then you'll ground through your feet to lift your pelvis up. And I want you to press your heels down so much that you can lift your toes up if you had to. And then stand stronger on your right foot and just hover the left knee a couple of inches above the floor. The left foot rather, a couple of inches above the floor. So the left knee will be a couple of inches above the right. And then step your left foot, kind of shift your body weight, get situated, and hover your right foot just a couple of inches above the floor. Not easy, so if it's too much, just keep your feet flat. But if you're feeling okay, you're going to start to walk. Right foot flat, left leg hovers. Left foot flat, right leg hovers. And just keep going. Right foot flat, left leg hovers. Left foot flat, right leg hovers. 2 more of each. Right foot flat, left knee hovers. Left foot flat, right knee hovers. Last set, right foot flat, left leg hovers. Left foot flat, right leg hovers. And then right foot flat, set the pelvis down. Right knee to your chest, give it a little squeeze. Left leg stretches out towards straight. Outer right thigh in your left hand. Drape the leg across you, take a twist. Peel the right arm open to the right, maybe the gaze follows. Making sure that with our leg work, we didn't cause any reason for the low back to tense up. And oftentimes, as I mentioned earlier with the glute differentiation, the legs can work in an inappropriate way and the low back can kind of get tense. Or we can mentally kind of divide the two and learn to work the leg muscles the right way. Then the low back tends to stay clear. Same with the joints like the hips and the knees. Now come back to center and just switch sides. Left leg in, right leg out. Give it a squeeze. And then take the outer left thigh in your right hand. Drape the leg across you to the right. Left arm opens to the left. Come on back to center, both feet flat. Feet flat, knees up, press into your feet, lift your pelvis towards the ceiling. Clasp hands behind your back for this one if you can, and then wiggle the shoulder blades underneath your back. If you feel amazing, right knee can come all the way in toward your chest and then stretch up into the air. Toes towards the ceiling. Left leg has to work a lot harder. If you went for that, you can bend the right knee, step the right foot flat, left knee to your chest, left leg stretches up. Remember, you can skip this part. You can even just be doing bridge on a block. Left knee bends, left foot flat. Everyone, pelvis lifts another inch. Arms release. Slowly lower down your spine and pause. You got one more back bend. If you're a wheel pose person or if you've got something in particular that you'd like to do, by all means, just be safe. Otherwise, you might like to keep it simple at this point. Press into your feet, lift your pelvis. Maybe clasp your hands again. And then just breathe. 3, 2, 1. Release that shape down. As your pelvis comes down, everyone this time, hug the knees into the chest. Grab the shin bones or behind the knees and start to rock and roll yourself forward and back up and down the length of your spine. So you get a little back body massage on the way upright. If that's too much, you can always roll to one side. Feel free to add your own modifications as you need to. Eventually, you'll rock all the way upright. Come into Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees wide. Spin to face you guys for this one. I want you to take your peace sign fingers and try to hook your 2 big toes One in each of your hands. Inhale, chest reaches forward like cow pose. And then exhale, wing out the elbows. Get some leverage to reach the chest forward and pull up on the toes. And then tuck your chin. Hang your head, close your eyes. Whatever comes up, just breathe with it. Inhale, lift up. Right leg goes out to a diagonal. Left foot finds the upper inner right thigh. Reach the arms up. Revolve the rib cage to the right. Janu Shirshasana, letter A. Hinge at your hips, bow forward. Let the arms rotate down, but keep the chest reaching. Little tuck of the chin, always helpful for the back of the neck to stay long. Flat back. Inhale, rise all the way up. Switch your legs, left leg out, right leg in. Reach the arms, revolve to the left, and then hinge at your hips, bow forward. Rotate the arms down. Tuck your chin, maybe close the eyes. See if there's a way to create length along the sides of your neck even further here. Slowly, mindfully inhale, rise all the way up. Find your way onto your back body again. We just got one more. Supta Gomukasana. So either use your belly to get to your back or use your fingertips to guide your way down. Stretch the legs up into the air. And this time, cross the right thigh over the left. Bend your knees. Widen the shin bones apart. So crossing at the shins would be totally different. Make sure you're crossing at the thighs. Either relax the arms, keep it simple. Grab hold of one of your kneecaps, make it a little deeper. Grab hold of shin bones, make it a little deeper than that. Or grab the outer edges of your feet, which would be much deeper, and try to keep that dorsiflexion happening, just so the ankles and knees are a little safer. And then wherever you end up, I like to rock side to side. You might like to do the same. You can also explore cat-cow in the pelvis and see what that feels like. All the way through your breathing, noticing. Come on back to center. Release the legs, stretch them upward. Switch sides, left thigh over the right. Remember to cross at the thighs. Bend the knees, widen the shin bones apart. And then same arm options, relax them, or hands to kneecaps, or hands to shin bone, ankle areas, or outer feet will be the deepest. Try to keep that dorsiflexion happening, and then just notice as you maybe have some little movements. If the movement is too much, if you don't like it, or it's too intense, just tone it down, find a way to make things softer. If the heels are closer to the sits bone area or to the outer hip area, it'll be an easier pose, whereas if you move the heels up towards the shoulders, it'll be a much deeper pose. Another way to modify. Last 2 breaths. And then from there, unravel that pose. Bend your knees in toward your chest, hug them together. Grab your shin bones with each of your hands. And then I want you to do a little curl with your upper body up. See if you can bring your eye sockets towards your kneecaps. Get in there as close as you can. Tense up all of your muscles. Make little toe fists with your feet. Make fists with your hands. Tone your belly. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze your hamstrings. Shoulders down the back, but between the shoulder blades, grip a little bit. Take one more moment. And then all of that tension, release it all at the same time. And unwind into a really spacious, maybe a little wider than usual Shavasana setup. back of your skull, the back of your pelvis, and each of your shoulder blades really evenly placed on the ground. Jaws can soften and relax, your facial muscles almost melt their way, spreading wider and sinking downward. Briefly, you take inventory and notice what your body parts feel like. Maybe perceive the sounds in your home or the rain and wind, things happening outside of your window. Pulling yourself into the moment with whatever stimuli are there. Then after that assessment, calling of yourself into time and space, just let go of all of it. The next couple of minutes to heal. As energy circulates a little more freely after practice. Start to find your breath. Breath deepens, thickens, becomes more supportive. That same prana, chi, life force, energy, whatever you want to think of it as, start to circulate through your body. Any blockages or congestions start to relieve and circulate as well, breaking up a blood clot or untying a knot. Just with your breath. You can start to move your toes and fingers and ankles and wrists. Eventually taking bigger movements, reaching into the arms and the legs. Plug your knees into your chest and roll around a bit, smooth out your back. Find any places that have been yet to space out and soften. Find your way over to the right or maybe even the left side and pause for a couple of breaths. Bring your intention back into your mind. Push the ground away. Slowly come all the way upright. Find a nice tall seat. As you sit, find a comfortable place to be upright and decompress the spine so that there's more space for the breath. Then bring your palms together in front of your heart. Finish with an Om, so feel free to join, feel free to listen. Deep breath in either way. Bow your head. The light in me honors that very same light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you, guys. Awesome job. Kathy's not back yet. I think she has a massage, so I will be the one to see everyone off into their day today. Be safe. It does look like outside my window it's getting a little crazy, so be careful, be mindful. Hope you guys had a good practice. I'm here if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm back on Thursday and then again on Saturday. So hopefully see you all soon.
Thanks, Alison.
Thank you, guys. I hope we got the knees and hips and everything all tuned up and ready to go.
Thanks for the hamstring stretches. That was great.
Good, yeah, and a lot of hamstring into the more lateral leg, which we tend to avoid because it's uncomfortable. So if that gave you then a lot of change in how your knees or your hips or your low back are feeling, definitely something to keep in mind, because that was a little more of our focus was here today. So if suddenly that pain that you've had for 10 years starts to alleviate, you might make that connection, oh, my outer leg is tighter than I thought. That's where my focus might need to reside for a while. But you guys did great from what I could see. So I'll see you all soon.
Yes, thanks, Alison.
Thanks, Alison. Bye-bye.
Bye, sweet.
Bye, guys.
Bye.